Welcome to Philippine Bible Ministries. Um, Today I want to talk about the Bible. It does not always have truth in it. It's very accurate, but sometimes the stuff quoted in there is not the truth. For example, the devil. Almost everything he says is a lie, almost, right? At the very beginning, when we're first introduced to him and he's talking to Eve, he said, he's lying to her, right? Did God really say? Yeah, God really said, but he's a liar. So he's the father of lies. So a lot of stuff he says in there. And there's also this thing called lying prophets, right? And then this morning I'm reading, and just so you know, the Psalms are amazing. They're poetry, and they're also, most of them were set to music. It's kind of cool. I've been reading through the Bible as I always do, and in the Old Testament times, David had set up these guys, and all they do is worship, like with their voices, twice a day, every day, and that's what they do. So some of the psalms are just worshiping God, praising God, God touching someone's heart, pulling them out of the mire, like very emotional stuff, and it's all like positive. But then sometimes you get a psalm where the beginning of it starts off really bad, and it's not right what the person's saying, because in the end then God comes in and pulls them out, and he usually says, but then I looked to the Lord and he pulled me out. So for example, this morning I was reading in here in Psalm 44, and it says, "You are my king, O God." And it says, "In God we boast all day." I'm bouncing around, so I'm not going to go chapter verse. You can read it for yourself if you want. "In God we boast all day and praise your name, but you have cast us off and put us to shame. Oh, you make us turn back. Oh, he basically says you're destroying us. We're a reproach and a scorn. All this comes upon us, but we have not forgotten you. We haven't done anything wrong," he's saying. "Oh, if we've forgotten your name, we understand." And he says, "Awake, God. Why are you asleep?" So God is not asleep. So sometimes we don't, just because we're in a place where we don't feel God doesn't mean he's asleep. It just means whatever's to come of it, it's either to teach us a lesson, or maybe sometimes it's just to show other people how we honor God even when things don't work out for us, because our faith is in him, not in our circumstance, stuff like that. So that part of the scripture, if you were to pull that out as a quote and say, well, God's not good, look at what he does. Even if you do the right thing, God will just destroy you, right? Or look at the book of Job. So the book of Job is a story of, Job is tested because the devil again says, "Oh, if you this man, yeah, he's so good." God says, "Look at him." And the devil says, "Yeah, well, if you take everything away, he'll curse you." He never did curse him, but Job's friends came, and when they started talking smack to him, almost everything they say is not right and true. So you could pull stuff out of there. You could pull stuff out of the book of Job, and you start quoting that and having sermons about that. That's not true stuff. So just be careful when you're reading the Bible. Not everything in there is the truth. So people that are enemies of God will use the Bible against the believers, right? And then they will. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do a lot of things. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it just occurred to me the other day as I was reading through Job. It's like, man, I hope somebody doesn't take this and well, the book of Job says so anything comes in the book of Job, red flags go up, and you go look it up and see who actually said it. There is a part in there where God speaks. So why don't you start with that? Because even Job, who was a righteous man, did not like curse God and die, did not, but at the other hand, he still messed up a little bit because he was still which of course you're going to be thinking about yourself when you go through that stuff. And I still have read that thing several times. I still don't know why Job had to be corrected or whatever, but I guess because he doubted that he should ever have been born, and he's like, you know more than God. So anyway, that's another story. So yeah, the Bible is correct. I believe it's in the 90% correct of what God wanted it to be exactly. And we can talk about that some other time. Matter of fact, I would be very grateful to hear from anybody who has any questions about doctrine or anything like that, because I'm trying to, the reason I talk about stuff like this is because I need to know things if I'm going to be teaching things. And so it helps me to talk about things that I'm learning or that I know. And I don't know. It's just, and the Lord told me to do it. He says, no, don't worry, David. There's a couple of people out here that are getting something out of it. So if you're one of those people, God bless you. And if you're not one of those people, then wake up. This is good stuff, Maynard. God bless you guys. Ta-ta for now.